for me, it was very cheap to live here, get an apartment for next to nothing. You had an opportunity to find enough people to work with, but also I could fly out to the West Coast. I went out to the West Coast all the time, but it was this thing about that it seemed easier to kind of come back here after meeting with folks, focus on stuff, and then go back out there and do things. So it's kind of like this was a place to go heads down and really focus on what I was doing. And then most of the companies I've built, we didn't sell anything to companies in Nebraska. We sold, most of it was outside of Nebraska. Now we call that importable revenue. But so we didn't need to be here from a customer standpoint. Developing software, just need a computer in front of me, you could do it, and so it was cheaper to do here, easier to do, and part of it was, it's what I was accustomed to. So, and nowadays I think that's even more viable to do that.
I sent out an email right before I came over here, and I just asked people, I said, tell me what you love about Lincoln. One of the things, again, with our employees, their average age is 27. And I said, other than your job here in Archrival, outside of Archrival, what are the things that you really enjoy about Lincoln? And I said, don't tell me about low cost of living or clean air or low unemployment. I want to know some specific things that you guys really enjoy about Lincoln. So I would have been 10 things, but I ran out of time, so it's 8 things. So I'll just touch on these. Some of these you guys may be aware of, and some of them you may not be. But if you're not, I encourage you to find them and check them out. Because again, these are things that our employees really love. So First Friday art shows, how many of you guys are familiar with those? Okay, awesome. So all the galleries that open, if you go to them, they're jam-packed. It's a great social scene celebrating art, and they're always full of young, fun people. It's a great thing. Bike trails. Lincoln is an awesome place for bikers and for just healthy living in general. And I live in Ashland now, but when I lived in Lincoln, this was something my wife and I were always biking. And we have over 180 miles of trails here in Lincoln to bike on. And so that's something that not a lot of communities have. And it's definitely something that I feel like Lincoln should embrace more and tell that story more as part of the Lincoln brand. Haymarket Park, Husker games on a Friday afternoon, on a Sunday afternoon, sitting on the berm. It's an awesome time. Oso Burrito, great local place. It's funny how many people mention this actually, and particularly the Thursday lunch special, the honey stung chicken burrito. If you haven't had it, I highly suggest it. O Street, I don't know if this is actually true, but most bars per capita, Jason, you probably know this, but most bars per capita in the country. Is that true? Oh, come on, you should know that, right? No? Okay. Well, don't quote me on that. I'll put it on. It's a good time. Lincoln is. And then, the fact that we have, when you grow up in Lincoln and when you've been to Lincoln, Nebraska, you just kind of take Huskers for granted. And but it's really an amazing experience, Big Red experience. I mean, if you go to any other, college football games in other cities, very few cities have the type of atmosphere and the energy that happens on a game day. And when people come in to visit, a lot of times we have clients who come in. We will specifically bring them in on a game day so they can feel that energy, because it blows their mind, and it just helps. It's a fun time. And then the Bourbon Theater, which is just recently in the last few years started to come around, really become a great place for Lincoln's indie music scene. A lot of our employees spend a lot of time there. The Ross Film Theater, I think, is one of Lincoln's gems that not a lot of people know about. One of the best independent film theaters in the country. And that's my 8 things. So we actually had a whole list that we were working on. So. But those are the 8 that I included in there.